Welcome,
Loveline, with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Would you sleep with sick women?
I may be pregnant, but I'm still a man.
Spank the unruly ones.
It's indecent, it's vulgar, it's blasphemous.
I'm gonna ride you till you can't stand up.
Come on, let's go down.
All right, keep your shirt on.
Loveline's meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Here's Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Hey, it's Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Tonight our guest is Duncan Sheik.
Hey.
Okay. Sometimes I like to just stop and see how long it takes Drew to say something. But I've tried this experiment a few times. He just doesn't talk.
I just don't take the bait. Oh, okay.
It's not really bait. It's more of a job, Drew. Don't look at
you do your job. You're the
I'm what?
the announcer.
I thought I was your sidekick
You're
last
the
time
sidekick.
I read an article that mentioned me in it. And by the way, did you do an interview tonight that I
Yeah.
wasn't included in?
They did not want to speak to you.
Who are these Nazis?
Somebody from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
What is this rag?
Oh, but I'm just concerned by the time which we're broadcast there. We need to move us up a little bit, I think.
What time are we on in Cincinnati?
1 to 3 in the morning.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
It's just nothing but the unemployable, felons, and drug addicts listening at that hour. That is ridiculous. Why aren't we on earlier in Cincinnati?
That's what I asked. I've just talked to some of the powers that be, and there we'll see.
Okay. All right. Let's talk to Duncan Sheik for a moment. Hello, Duncan.
Hey.
Duncan, last time we saw Duncan was probably 6 months ago on the TV show.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago, yeah.
Duncan has himself a CD out. It's called Duncan Sheik.
Yep.
It is his first CD, and it's been out for a while, and Duncan and I were just talking about this right before we went on the air, which is there seems to be this trend, and maybe this happened with, I don't know, maybe this happened 10 years ago, but I'm not aware of it, that bands come out. I was just talking in New York to Brian Vander Ark from the Verve Pipe, and, you know, the band is successful now, but I remember that album came out almost 2 years ago, it seemed like.
Right.
And it just seems like more and more of these records are coming out, and they're hanging out, and they're not hitting for, I mean, like when we had, you take like No Doubt, for example. That Tragic Kingdom thing, that thing's been like 2.5 years now.
I think somebody has to decide it's good and get behind it and promote it.
Yeah, and Jules, the ultimate example, that
Yeah.
record is still in top 10, and it's been out for like 2.5 years.
Right, and
Sitting there.
Jewel died in a helicopter accident 4 years ago. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, so it's like, see, I could never be a musician for this one reason. I would come out with a record, if it didn't sell any in the first 6 months, I would just freak out and kill myself.
Yeah, I mean, my record sold 400 copies the first week it was out.
Hey, that's great. Oh, no, that's not a lot?
It's pathetic.
Oh, okay, that's not
Anyway,
gold?
No.
But it just turned gold, right?
Yeah, it just did. So, but it took a long time. But it's good. I think it's good because it's kind of, if record company doesn't mind waiting and they're patient about how they promote it, it's much better because then things don't get overhyped and you don't get so annoyed by it, you know?
And it seems a little more sincere this way because people are buying the record because of word of mouth and because of exposure, but it's sort of earned exposure.
Right.
It's not because some guy came in with a suitcase full of coke and convinced some program director to play it unheard
The good old days.
a week before it came out. Oh, boy, I got on the radio way too late. There's no more of that payola or booty or anything going around.
You're still sitting on some payola.
Oh, that's right. And we got these chairs. You're not talking about the kilo of heroin in my ass. You're talking about the...
Not whatever else you keistered.
You're talking about the chairs I got for us over the air. Yes, thank you very much. All right, so Duncan, you are going to be out with Sean Colvin.
Yeah, have been for about a month.
And you'll be at the John Anson Ford Theater tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that.
Right.
How is Sean?
And I have total respect for her, 100%.
Oh, so you don't like her?
No, I like her a lot. She's really sweet, and she's an amazing performer, and I've learned a lot, you know, from being on tour with her.
Has she been around for a while?
She has. She has. I think her first record came out maybe not quite 10 years ago. And so she's actually a great example of what we're talking about, the ultimate slow build, you know, of now, you know, 9 years after her first record came out, she has a really huge hit single, and, you know, it's about time. because she's amazing.
I'm trying to think of that single I thought she had. No. I thought she had a single like 3 years ago, but I can't think of the name of it.
It's possible. I mean, there have been, I think, 5 records during that time. But, you know, she's just such a great singer, and her band is amazing. She plays with Larry Klein, this incredible bass player. And
Drew is pretty into Klein, aren't you?
The psychoanalyst?
Yeah.
Anna Klein?
All right, why don't we do this?
Melanie
Because
Klein, excuse me.
hey, Mike, shut Drew's mic off, would you please? Thank you. That's enough of it.
It really isn't, but go ahead.
That's enough. Hey, Engineer Mike, do you have the CD queued up? Because why don't we play a song, the big hit off the record? Because what it is, and don't take this the wrong way, but this is the first record for you in your new name, and people might know the song, but they may not associate the name with the song.
Sure.
So if we hear the song, then you'll get that respect that you deserve as the show wears on, instead of who is this guy? All right, you have it? All right, what song is it? Ah, yes. See, I didn't know the name of it, but I know the song.
Chestnut.
All right, why don't we hear Barely Breathing from Duncan Sheik, off of Duncan Sheik, and it goes a little something like this. A little something from Duncan Sheik. Now you're going, oh, yeah, it's Duncan Sheik. Yeah, I like him. See, now
I love the
everyone's
fact that
warmed up to
he
you.
majored in college in something, a word that neither of us had ever heard of.
Right, he made up a word.
But they majored in that in college.
I majored in ceramics.
Heard of that.
What was your major again?
Semiotics, with a minor in ceramics.
And what was? Explain the word.
Semiotics is it's like contemporary philosophy of cultural production, is how I like to think about it. Or that's the aspect of it that I was studying. It's like modern culture and media, how media and the various, mediums, whether it's film or music or literature, how they affect society, how society affects these mediums.
I bet you could really score some weed in that class.
Probably from the faculty.
Yeah, it was probably just going around. Was there a lot of good-looking women in that class?
This was Brown. This was Brown.
There's no football players in that class.
No, there weren't. And no, there were actually. Yeah, there definitely were. That was, at least you paid attention.
I heard you mention to Drew during the song that you were practicing Buddhist.
Yes.
Now, let me see if I got this right, because I've been accused of screwing it up before.
Sorry.
Myoho Renge Kyo.
Very
Yoho is what you keep leaving out.
No, it's Myoho.
Myoho.
Yes.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Very good.
Now, if you say that 40,000 times a week,
You get a digital disc.
you get stuff, right?
Well,
Do you chant every day?
I chant in the morning and in the evening every day. Yeah, about an hour in the morning and half
see,
an hour at night.
See, I tried to get into Buddhism for a while, or actually, Jung-hee Lee tried to get me into Buddhism, a little cute Korean girl,
Right.
and it didn't work because I could only chant for about 5 minutes before I just got distracted by something shiny and had to go rub up against it.
Right. Well, that's fine. I mean, do it for however long you enjoy it. Chant to your heart's content, and then go on to the next thing.
Do you have a Gohanzen?
I do. Yeah.
I had a cardboard one.
Yes.
It's like it was a collapsible one. It was like it's the little temple that you.
That's the Butsudan. That's the thing that you put a Gohanzen in. Gohanzen is the scroll to which you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I had the cardboard one.
Right.
And you put the scroll there, and you got to put fruit there. But that's the other thing too. I'd get hungry about halfway into the chanting and just go for the fruit, and then the gods were pissed because there you are eating. They're eating their fruit.
The gods, there's no
real gods there.
No, you have the Buddha nature inside you, and that's the important
All right,
thing.
but here's what I love about Buddhism, at least as far as I know.
Okay.
And I don't mean to offend you in any way.
No,
because oftentimes when you talk about people's religion, they get very uppity about it.
I promise I won't get offended.
I think Buddhism is the greatest religion ever because generally the people are real tame. They sit down, they relax, and they chant. They're not really into burning stuff as much as they are is for chanting for stuff. And I think it's an effective religion because you need to make some change in your life. You need something, whatever it is. And hey, you can go ahead and chant for a car or chant for a job or a blow job or whatever it is you need. You can just go ahead and chant on it.
Yeah, but it certainly doesn't have to be a material thing.
Right.
Let's get that straight.
Right, but you can pick out something specific, like new set of frames for your glasses or something, and you just focus on it for an hour at a time. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. But the whole time you're thinking clock radio or VCR. And obviously, after sitting down...
You were thinking...
I would be thinking that. No. I'd be thinking like a Porsche now, because I'm in a better place. But the point is you do it for an hour straight, and then obviously, going into that day, you're going to be affected by that, and it's going to raise your chances of getting the job or getting the car or getting the inner peace or whatever it is, because you focused on it for that period of time every day.
You manifest that energy that you've created. Sure, it's like physics. It's very practical in that sense. You're right.
So you do an hour when you wake up,
Yes.
then an hour before you go to bed?
Yeah, about a little bit less in the evening,
Right, because you're drunk.
No, I try not to do, and I try not to drink any wine before I chant.
Oh, okay, good, because not the gods, but the God within you wouldn't go for that.
Yeah.
All right, and it's obviously it's done you pretty well so far in your life.
It's great. It's been a really important part of this whole nonsense.
Because otherwise you'd go completely insane,
Probably,
right?
Yes.
You're going out on the road. You're signing autographs. You're being run ragged.
It keeps me as humble as I can be. Definitely.
Good, Drew. Get your wife to start chanting. John, 24.
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
Remember, he was the last call from last night that waited 80 minutes or something.
Oh, that's
96.
right. 96 minutes. But you're not bitter.
No, I'm not.
All right, what was your question?
Well, I had something to share with you guys. Spent some time in Cuba over the summer, and I got to meet a doctor. He took me to the facility where he worked, and he works with kids. And we got to talking about the family unit and such, and he was telling me that men in Cuba have to support their children, whether they leave or if they leave. If the child is conceived out of wedlock, you support the child or go to prison.
See?
And they'll just come after you and throw you in the clink if you don't do it.
The woman reports it, you're gone. Just like that.
We like that.
Yeah, we're into that.
The problem is Adam is going to institute that through the policy of totalitarian fascism.
That's right.
Rather than socialism.
Hey, we got to get Castro out here. What's he doing?
Well, no, I mean, granted, they have a lot of problems there, but there are some things they're doing right, and that was...
How are the family units sustained there? Is everything going okay?
Family is highly regarded. For example, like here we have Mother's Day, we have Father's Day.
Yeah.
When I was there, they had Day of the Children.
Huh.
And you would see families all over the city, all over the parks.
You know, in general, Hispanic cultures do better in terms of sustaining families. They believe. I know that there's not that general understanding. In
all right, but why are all the countries on the rocks then? I mean,
I'm just saying that maybe the economics are not what they could be or should be, but the family structures are well maintained and valued very highly.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you know, how long has Castro been in? Has it been like 40 years now?
Since 59.
Wow. So almost 40 years.
Yeah.
See, I can't believe that guy hasn't been shot by now. Here, John Lennon couldn't make it 10 years here in the States without someone putting a bullet in him. Castro has been around for 40 years and no one shot the guy. So my hat's off to him for that, at least. They must have good gun control over there.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
But, Drew, I spending a month in a socialist setting, I wanted to get your take on socialized medicine. What do you think about that?
Well, we've been heading in that direction for a long time, and we're just using market forces to sort of level the field, I think, in this country more than not. The downside is that the dynamism and creativity that capitalism tends to instill into any economic system could be lost if you take that out of what is actually the fifth largest industry in this country. And to the extent that Canada couldn't have socialized medicine without the United States right next door, I've done business with them, and they bring all their stuff over here and they contract it out because the growth within the system and the efficiencies just aren't there.
Yeah, you're saying when everybody sort of starts looking to Uncle Pedro, Uncle Fidel for a paycheck, that's the day they stop the research. And, these companies like Upjohn and Merck and all that, they stop sinking millions of dollars or billions of dollars into research and development and all that.
And they stop buying the CAT scans, the MRIs, and things, and everything flattens out.
Right. All right.
I mean, it has good sides too. I mean, the upside is that they get, the prenatal child care and everything else is greatly enhanced. And this country does very poorly.
Well, this country, here's the deal with this country, as far as I can tell. Everyone's free to live here, but you got to work your ass off, and that's always the carrot that's dangling in front of everybody. You know you're going to get better medical help if you got money. You know you're going to get better legal representation. All these things that you think are sort of rights of human beings, if you have some money, you can really get it done. And so what we're saying here is if you want to work real hard, you can have that. Or you can have sort of substandard stuff. I mean, I've been to County USC and waited there for 8 hours while someone was having a baby in the seat next to me just to get my ankle, reset. And it sucks. I know if I had money, I'd go.
Just cut in line.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think there's really any cuts over there, unfortunately.
8 hour wait for everybody.
Oh, please.
Yeah. And well.
What? All right, let's not turn this to a political forum. Leslie.
Yes.
Hey, you're 18.
Yes, how are you guys doing?
Good.
That's good. My problem is that I get into relationships, and they do go fine for a while, but then for some reason, even when they seem to be going fine, I'll pick out the littlest things and cause it even a major problem.
Right, you sabotage.
I guess.
That's what that is.
Right, because you can't handle it when it's going well.
How about if you're getting kind of kicked around in the relationship, literally or otherwise?
You mean like if the relationship's going bad?
If the guy's mistreating you? How do you behave then?
Usually I try to actually, sometimes I guess I look over when they do things bad.
You dismiss that and go for the challenge of trying to fix things, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so you come from a crappy background or something?
Not really.
Well, you're kind of used to it a little bit, right?
Somewhere there's some reason that you dismiss abuse.
I live in my family is not separated or anything.
Did they ever strike you?
Ever what?
Did they ever hit you?
No.
Were they...
Now, let's cut to the chase. What do you think of your dad?
I don't know. I guess he's okay. Like, he's been here for us and everything.
But what?
But what?
But what?
Okay. This is going to be a real long call, Drew.
Pulling teeth.
Okay.
What do you mean tell what the problem is? What is he?
He works long hours.
So he's not available the way you'd like him to be?
I guess not. But I'm soon to move out of the house, so...
Yeah, but what has been happening is what we're trying to get into.
He works long hours.
And it's always been that way.
Yes.
And when he's never been available to you then.
Not much.
Okay, so it's not familiar to you to have a close relationship with a man. When he has been available, is he available in an emotional way? Is he?
No, we're pretty distant.
Okay, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Does he drink or anything?
Excuse me.
Does he drink?
He doesn't drink.
Okay, and he never struck you.
No.
And your mom, has she been over involved with your life, or is she available?
Me and my mom have been pretty much best friends.
Best friends.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Up until the past year, she's known everything about me.
What happened last year?
Oh, I guess I just started growing up and stuff. And
you start having sex, and you can't tell your mom about that.
Exactly. Did she have you in ballet when you were 3 and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Drew's going eating disorder. Do you have an eating disorder, Leslie?
It's that quality.
No, I don't.
Anyone who ever strapped on the ballet shoes has an eating disorder, according to Drew.
Well, it's just that, you get the sense that Mom was over-involved and Dad was overly distant.
Well, Mom was picking up the slack. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, they may have been. But see, the problem is that Leslie may not have a real clear sense of herself in relationships, and so when she gets involved, she has to push it away or go after the things that are not available, since that's all she's used to.
All right. Well, Leslie's 18. Leslie is coming on to the truth here. Leslie called because she suspects something is up, and, just keep your eyes open. And we can't fix everyone.
The deal is that when she gets in those relationships that are, in fact, good, take control of yourself and don't sabotage, and be conscious of those things that you're nitpicking upon, and try to look at the good parts of that person and stick it out. Hang with yourself in that relationship and see what happens.
All right, Drew. That's it's becoming quite cathartic here. Do you have a call you want to sell
Jim
before we
wants
go
to
to
know
break?
when he wants to know when he finished puberty or how you know.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Please tell.
All right, more with Drew, Duncan Sheik, and you after this. Entrepreneur, musician, philosopher, Buddhist. Duncan Sheik is our guest tonight. And Renaissance Doc Drew is in tonight, spinning his usual medical yarns. Yes?
Yes.
I should really call them yawns. Back to the phones we go. Jim, you're 18.
Yeah. I'm basically calling. I've had like pubic hair and everything for like 3 years now, but no real genitalia growth at all. And I was just kind of wondering, when will I know when I'm all done or whatever?
You want to know when your penis is going to stop growing?
Yeah, basically.
He wants to know what's going to start too.
Most of my, I mean, because like all my friends are having sex or whatever, and I'm just kind of like scared to even get into a relationship because what happens if, I mean, it's like they're having sex easily, and if some girl wants to have sex with me, I'm like, yeah, right, you know.
Because of your penis?
Well, because I don't even know, I mean, it hasn't even really grown at all. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's bigger than when I was born or whatever, but...
Right, but your body's like 8 times as big as it was when you're born, and your penis just grew once.
Do you masturbate?
Yeah, a little bit.
How's that going?
Fine.
That works okay.
I mean, but...
The penis works fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but it's just...
And you have hair everywhere, under the arms and the chest?
Yeah, I have not a lot of underarm hair, but I have a lot of hair, like, I got a hairy butt or whatever, and not a lot of facial hair yet, though. I mean, some sideburns and a little mustache.
Well...
That sounds like enough hair for an 18-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, certainly there can still be growth up to the age of 21 easily. And
I didn't notice any big jumps between 18 and 21, I got to tell you.
Onset, it's different for different people. And late onset of puberty is associated with longevity, statistically.
Right, so you live to 90, and you have all those years to think about not getting laid. Basically is what Drew's saying. Hold on, Jim?
Yeah.
What size is your penis?
When it's erect, probably 5 inches.
No, that's not bad.
I guess Adam had the same problem.
What are you talking about?
Anything ever get...
What?
One more thing.
My penis is not small.
I'm just reporting the way you call it.
It's just people would think a guy like myself had a much larger penis because I have a certain je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? People expect a lot of penis out of me, and I don't really deliver.
Okay.
I have the penis of a commoner, but I have the mind of royalty and the penis of a man who tills the soil. Just let me enjoy my weenie, please. All right,
Jim, are you sure you're not just obsessing about size, just generally?
I don't know, not really, but I was wondering if I end up not growing at all that much. Do you know anything about penis pumps? Can you recommend those?
No. You're fine, Jim. Don't worry.
It's definitely not my bag.
No, you're gonna be fine. The pumps are for erectile failure.
No Buddhist uses the penis pump.
You mean talking about
Did
the
you see
enlarging
Austin
pumps?
Powers?
Huh?
No, I didn't. Hold on a second, Jim. We're trying to have a conversation here. No, I didn't see Austin Powers.
Okay.
Did they use the penis pump?
You missed the whole Swedish penis pump sequence, and it was brilliant.
I think I could chant for an hour if I had the penis pump going at the same time.
Jim, you're talking about the enlarging pump?
Yeah.
That's what you mean?
What do you think he's talking about?
I'm talking about the
removing
implants, the implant pumps.
No. You're talking about the ones you order in the back of the magazine, right?
Yeah, in the back of the muscle magazines or whatever.
Enlarge your penis to mammoth proportions, one used to read.
What about penis enlargement?
Yeah.
To me, that procedure is pretty questionable.
Really?
I mean, basically, you look better like in the shower when you're flaccid, but then it doesn't add much to the...
What I've heard and read just doesn't seem that viable to me.
Does it work or no?
Hey, Jim, are you truly 5 inches?
Yeah.
Because the average is, 5.2, I believe it was, which is like 5 3/16.
That's the point. That's why I'm just wondering if you're not just obsessing about size generally, even though you're actually virtually average.
Well, I just don't want to be, like,
Jim,
laughed at or whatever.
Jim, you're average.
Oh, Jim.
Average.
Jim,
That's what
let me tell you, your attitude is your biggest problem here. This is what's going to stand in the way of you being successful with women, not the penis.
Okay.
Women do not care about the size of a penis. Too big is bad. too, unnaturally small is bad, but anywhere in the, I would say, 4.25 to like 5.25. I'm trying to help myself here. No, anywhere from the, let's say 4.25 to, let's say, 8.25, you're pretty safe.
Yeah.
You get outside of those boundaries, all bets are off.
Right.
Yeah.
But anywhere within those boundaries, you're fine. So, Jim, the penis is not holding you back.
Okay.
It's your attitude. Stop focusing on the genitalia.
Okay.
You're using it as an excuse.
Yeah.
I hope.
Your penis has become an enabler.
Yeah.
It becomes a symbol of your own inadequacy.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to say also that I did recognize that song after you. I didn't know who the guy was, but after you played the song, I recognized him, and I did like the song.
Right. See, that was smart, huh, Jim?
Yeah, that was pretty smart.
That's good radio. See, it certainly does. And I know, see, I only try to do what I want other people to do on the radio. Right. Like, people say to me all the time, well, Drew's smart, and Drew's got an education, and Drew's delivering, rock-solid advice. What are your qualifications, or what are you doing, or what are you trying to do? Yeah. And I always say, what I want to say is what people are thinking I should say.
Right. You're every man on the street.
I want to, ask the question.
Right. You're the representation of all the listeners right here.
Mm. And I hate to hear somebody on the radio and go, who the F is that? That is, it's driving me nuts, or the name sounds familiar, but I don't know what the song is or what to connect them to. So, Duncan, let's hear the song 3 more times.
Please don't do that to me.
All right, but we'll hear something else as the night wears on. Noelle, you're 19.
Yeah, this question's mostly for Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
Mostly in the mornings, I wake up with sore throats, and I heard you refer that once to the HIV virus.
I referred recurrent sore throats to HIV. I doubt that.
I heard you mention it once.
You know what I said? I said...
Drew comes in here drunk sometimes and doesn't remember exactly what he said.
I said the acute HIV infection can be associated with a mononucleosis-like syndrome, a severe sore throat, high fevers, and an extreme state of illness that lasts a few days and goes away. And immediately following that, the antibody can become positive in the blood. Recurrent sore throats, recurrent mouth soreness, meaning recurrent oral candidiasis, is something that is occasionally associated with AIDS, but it is associated with other things as well. If you don't have any risk factors for HIV, do you?
I have had unprotected sex with a couple partners in the last.
Were they HIV positive?
I don't know.
Were they IV drug users?
She doesn't know.
No.
Were they homosexual or bisexual?
No.
Okay, so the probability is that you're not in a risk category. So to begin to ascribe something like a morning sore throat to HIV is
it's probably
remote.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, allergies, postnasal drip.
You're saying the HIV virus is actually being pumped through the air conditioning system, Duncan?
Somebody will have heard that.
Oh, my God.
Even though what, Noelle?
Even though it's been going on for the last couple months.
It's allergy season, okay? Postnasal drip, sleep with your mouth open because your nose is congested, that kind of thing is what typically does that.
Okay, I'm really relieved. Thanks.
All right.
Boy, do we got dumb listeners. We have some of the world's dumbest listeners on this show. I know a lot of talk show hosts are sort of patronizing and talk about how brilliant their listeners are. Mm. I will go out on a limb and say we have the world's dumbest listeners. Mm. Or at least, actually, the listeners may be okay. We have the world's dumbest callers on this show. All right, Drew, why don't you sell the hell out of the next call? And hold on a second. To take a beat and pick a good one and really drive it home now. Drew's been doing radio for 14 years. Can you believe that? 14 years.
Christine loses her sex drive when she's in long-term close relationships. What's wrong?
That sounds familiar.
Right? You know what I like about you, Drew? I like to watch you just taco when I put you on the spot. Now, I don't mean to pick on Drew.
If you know I'm going to crap out like that, why do you cause that to happen?
Because I enjoy seeing that process.
Right.
I like to watch him fold up. You know what's funny about you, Drew, is you deliver the goods like no other. I mean, you really do. Duncan, you've seen him on the TV show. You've heard him on the radio show. There's no teleprompter rolling. No. There's no reference. He does not know what the questions are in advance, and he can roll right through stuff and pick out things and prescribe specific medications. Nobody does it better than Drew. But if you held up a card that said, we'll be back in 5 minutes, and told Drew to read it, it would take 8 takes, and he would vomit in between all 3 of them. All right, Drew, why don't you get in touch with that part of yourself during the break, and we'll be back
in 5 minutes.
Back with more Loveline. Tonight our guest is Duncan Sheik and the good doctor, Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. St. John Smith, the volleyball player, will be in here tomorrow night, and then Smash Mouth will be in here on Wednesday, and then
Good band.
Who's that? Oh, Insane Clown Posse? Are they coming in here?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's next week. Oh, that'll be good. Fiona Apple will be in next week. Sugar Ray.
It's a good week.
And where's Ann?
She's making coffee.
Oh, okay. You sure she's doing something?
Yeah, I just
okay.
She was just
okay. Because I want to tell her that at the Music Awards, I talked to Dickie from the Boss Tones and Brian Vander Ark from the Verve Pipe, and they want to come in too, but they were drunk, and so you never know.
We know better than stuff than that.
Yeah, but they're, I don't know, we had a good time. Christine.
Boss Tones are the only guys that can remain our friends in spite of the success in their career.
What do you mean? The Verve Pipe are real nice guys. You just don't go out and see them places.
But they've stayed about the same since we've known them, Boss Tones have been getting stronger and stronger. And
the Verve Pipe's been kind of going up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not speculate anymore. Christine?
Yeah.
You're 21.
Yep. Hi,
You're on
guys.
with Duncan Sheik.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Yeah. Okay, this is my problem. I've been through 3 long-term relationships, so most of my life has been in long-distance or long-term relationships. And for some reason, like in the beginning, our sexual life is like totally fine. Like we'll have sex every day and totally healthy and everything. And then, like my last relationship, after 6 months, it was just weird. Like just one day, my sex drive just went to 0, and I thought it'd be a phase or whatever, but it wasn't. It's just I never want to sex again.
What do you think?
Were you sexually attracted to other guys?
No, not really. Like I really fell in love with them, and I loved them and cared for them a lot. And we're intimate. Like we'd cuddle and stuff, and that's what I liked about it. But the whole intercourse part, I couldn't like it. And like
why?
I just didn't like the intercourse.
Kind of free associate with me a little bit. What did it remind you of? How did it make you feel?
Well, the thing is that just sometimes I wouldn't want it, and I do it because I knew he wanted it. It was like a chore to me.
But why? How would the interaction make you feel?
Just uncomfortable, like.
I have a feeling we're not going to get to the bottom of this. I suspect just because it's a pretty
right. Well, this is
difficult thing to get at.
Right. This has been a big problem for me, and it's starting to worry me because, like my first 2 boyfriends, I just fell out of love with them, and there's reasons why I didn't like them. But this last one, I really truly loved him, and it was just such a big problem that it ended our relationship. And I need to do something about it because I'm worried about finding another boyfriend because I just don't want to deal with this again. And they're all really nice about it. Like they'll put up with it, and I'll talk to them about it. We'll like be open.
Did you lose somebody that you were very close to?
No.
Ever?
Ever.
So getting very close doesn't imply some kind of emotional catastrophe.
No, like we'd be real close, like best friends and everything.
No.
You sound like a guy.
Yeah,
you really do.
Oh, that's weird.
Hey, as a matter of fact,
no, usually guys they're overly horny, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, but then after 6 months,
does that scare you? Make you angry at them?
It makes me mad because I just, I don't understand why. Like, we'll go and I'll spend the night at his house or whatever, and I know it's going to come up, and I know he's going to want it, and I'm going to have to.
Some women really feel objectified, being treated as a sexual object. When they get too much of that physicality, it really disturbs them and makes them angry, and they miss the sort of connected part. And guys overlook that really easily. You have to kind of train guys.
Well, because when I did like it, the part I liked about it the most was that we were so close, and that this guy that I loved totally was with me like that. But it's something that happens to me every single time, and I just don't understand why. But see, another thing too is I have problems with pap smears really bad.
What happens?
I'll dread it like maybe 3 months before I know I have to go in, and I'll even start crying on the table like every single time.
You give me some clues here that something happened to you?
No, I don't know if that's connected. Another thing that might deal with this is that my sister is a year younger than me, and we're real close. We're brought up the same whatever, and she has the same problems I do.
She cries during the gynecological exam?
And the whole boyfriend sex thing.
All right. So maybe there was some monkey business going on in your family.
No, I thought of that too, but it's not. There's not. I mean, our family it's totally normal. My parents are still together, totally happy. Nothing like that.
You guys weren't adopted or anything?
No.
You know, Chris, I just have a sense we're not going to get it. But look, it may even just be that these were not as good a relationship as you thought they were. And when you really are, this may be your body just giving.
Well, why do you
clues.
start crying when the guy's examining you or the woman is?
All right, this is why.
Is it a woman examining you?
I've had both. I don't mind either one, as long as they're real nice and gentle. I don't care.
I thought you cried.
I do cry.
Why?
Well,
But,
that's
the reason
hold on. I call that minding. Like when you cry, that means you mind. Usually, unless they're showing Brian's song on the TV set that's behind the guy.
All right, what's the deal?
I would cry, actually, if they did that.
Well, the reason I cry usually is because by the time I go in to get a pap smear, we'd already been together that long that my sex drive is already, like, nothing. So I feel like I have to go through this hell for something that I don't really want to do anyways, and it doesn't hurt. It's just that I feel forced into doing this because...
Yeah, see, that's the quality of what you keep telling me, is a sense of being objectified and forced, and then you get angry and resentful. I mean, that's the only clear sense I get from what you're telling me. Whether or not it is just that you are really not with the right person. That's kind of my...
I don't know.
We may be wrong.
No, you may be wrong.
I may be
I
wrong.
don't agree with you.
Something really substantial going on here. But I would say there's a reasonable probability that if you were with a person who really were empathic with your needs, I bet things would be okay.
He was really, really nice. See, I used to think
nice.
that with
That's
the first
different.
two, but this last one, he was so, like, we tried to...
Yeah, don't dump it on the guy. Shouldn't you? I mean, don't you have to go get a pap smear anyway, like once a year?
Well, I'd rather not. If I'm not having
yes, you
sex,
do.
then I won't have
No,
one.
Christine, you need to do that.
I'm sure
Christine.
I'll find somebody soon, and I'm going to have to do it anyway.
Christine, you have to do it anyway. Young women get cervical cancer. That's it.
Hey, Drew, are they ever going to come up with the technology where, like when you used to go to the supermarket and they'd have to punch up, the price of everything?
Barcode.
Now they just do the barcode. Are they going to have the vagina barcode where a woman could just scoot along something?
Or maybe just shine in one of those laser grids?
Yeah. Or like some woman chewing gum wearing a smock and a name tag could just scan the vagina or something like that and make this whole experience a little less humiliating.
It's a long way off.
It is.
Not in our lifetime.
See, this won't go on in Cuba, by the way, because there's no incentive. Here in the States, this could be a moneymaker. Or those bastards, Canada. Oh, those people. Sending their people over here to utilize our technology and then running back laughing and drinking that high-octane beer of theirs. Miranda.
Hi.
Hey, you're 16.
Adam, I think you're, like, the coolest. And Dr. Drew, I think you're, like, so smart.
Mm.
Yeah, but this question is for Duncan.
Thank you.
Duncan, how did you get into music?
Well, I actually had a grandmother who was a pianist, and she was really very, supportive of... She got me my first guitar when I was 5 years old, and she, everything that I banged on, she said it was great music, and she was really sweet about it.
Did you spend a lot of time with her?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, my mom was a single working mother, so I was with my mom a lot, but when I wasn't with her, I was with my grandparents. So
How did you learn to write your lyrics?
Lyrics it's kind of the last set of things that I ever do, and it's I've really only written lyrics for about the past 3 or 4 years, and I've been playing music for 20 some odd years. So I think lyrics is more a kind of stream of consciousness or thing that I just kind of spit them out and then I'll edit it later. But I'm a real lyrical procrastinator.
Well, I love your music a lot.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, I got your CD and I listen to it constantly.
Thank you.
Well, that's my question.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I bet her folks are okay with it, too.
His music.
Yeah.
Yeah. No need for a parental advisory on this.
Yeah, a lot of the bands we get in here, like, I don't know, like Goldfinger or something. Parents are ready to kill themselves after that thing's been played for the 5th or 6th
Even
time.
the guys last night, Blink 182.
Yeah, like you'd kill yourself if your kids were listening to that, wouldn't you?
You doubt yourself, that's for sure.
You say, where did we go wrong?
Right.
Yeah, nice guys, good music, but, to anyone over 40, you're going to go completely insane if you hear this
but
music.
Rock and roll is supposed to be rebellious. I mean, it's part of growing up. So, I didn't do that, and I'm kind of regretting it myself.
Well, who'd you listen to when you were younger? Like when you were playing the guitar
Yeah.
and you weren't writing lyrics, what songs were you singing?
I wasn't singing at all. I just played guitar. But I listened to English bands. Like first, I listened to like prog rock bands like Yes and Genesis and King
Oh,
Crimson.
the Adams Band.
Oh yeah, no. I'm more like I'm REO Speedwagon. No, I'm
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, we were talking about
Sticks
Foghat, Leonard Skinner, and
Uriah Heep.
And Heap. I'm so tight with Heap that I leave out the Uriah part. And then there's like Deep Purple.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, the Cult or the Blue. Yeah, the BM. Deep Purple used to rock. There was a band. Drew and I had this whole talk. Oh, hold on. I want to yell at Drew for a second. Thank God that somebody brought this up. Was it in? Oh, you're so lucky it's not in my pocket.
What?
I went to a music store today. I made a special trip to a music store to check out the date of Freebird.
Yes.
We were driving around in a limousine in New York about 4 nights ago. And admittedly, I'd had a few drinks under my belt. And I was listening to some classic rock station in New York. And you know what it's like when you're loaded. Every song is, oh, my God, oh, shut up, everyone, this is great. And I was sitting in the back, and Susan and Drew were sitting next to me, and I kept cranking it up because they were playing like CCR and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Chicago, and I was just reliving my childhood. And Leonard Skinner's Freebird came on. And I started yelling. You know, I held up a lighter, and I was yelling, Freebird, Freebird. And Drew said, what is this Freebird? And I said, Freebird, Leonard Skinner, come on, Freebird. It's like an anthem. It's 7 minutes long. I never heard of this said Freebird. And I said, are you kidding? You don't know Freebird? Now,
7-minute singles are back, you know.
A lot of our listeners may not know Freebird because they're 16 years old, but Drew is right in the Freebird wheelhouse. You're 39 now.
Yeah.
You should know Freebird.
Well, now I do.
What year was the release date?
I'm going to get to that because I got into a big argument with Drew's wife, Susan, who said, well, the reason Drew doesn't know Freebird is because Drew was in medical school at that time and has no idea of anything that was going on in civilization because he was mired in med school. And I said, Freebird came out, what year did you go to med school?
80-84.
What year?
80-84.
Oh,
No,
I'm going to beat her.
No, she was talking about the latter part of college, too.
All right.
78 is when my cultural life ended.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to tell you when Freebird came out. I got a huge, you heard the argument with your wife, right?
I said 75.
Listen, put your hands down, smart guy. You married her. All right, we'll be back.
Hey, what the f*** is up? This is Mark from f***ing Blink-182, and you're listening to f***ing Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. f***ing Drew.
That's the kind of liner we want out of you in about 20 minutes, Duncan. Duncan Sheik is here. The CD is called Duncan Sheik. Dr. Drew's also here. This is Loveline, and when we finished my roast of Dr. Drew's wife, Drew, maybe you could get her on the phone. I'd really like to talk to her.
Really?
Yes, I want I want total vindication.
Maybe tomorrow
here.
night we'll plan it, right? Because I don't want to wake the kids up.
The kids, come on. Enough with the kids already. All right. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
Let me finish that before you get into your haranguing. Duncan and I were just talking about stuff off the air, and I would just want to finish by saying that the human body is sort of a perfect instrument, and anything you put in it to alter its physiological state, you're not going to help it, really. You can only potentially do hurt. You may be fine, but you're always potentially putting yourself in harm's way.
What about food and stuff?
No, food, yeah, but things that have extra physiologic effects, things that make it function in a way that it doesn't automatically do.
But what about if your body doesn't function correctly in certain respects?
If you have a disease, which is a disease, if you have a disease state, then all bets are off. Then you have to measure out whether or not the risks of the disease are greater than the risks of anything you want to put in your body to correct the disease state.
Now, what about ginseng? Because I was in the bathroom of Scores, the strip club in New York.
So proud of you. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
And the guy recognized me. It's funny, actually, having a conversation while you're urinating. Like, I'm facing the tile urinating. Hey, you're Adam Carolla. Yeah, say thank you. As I'm, touching my own genitalia. And you strike up a conversation, and I came out, and, this place is... No, he didn't. He wouldn't take a tip from me because he said I brought so much joy to his life that I didn't have to tip him when he handed you the paper towel. As a matter of fact, I even got some hair goop in me, and he didn't charge me for that. But this guy started talking to me about ginseng, and he made it himself, and it was organically grown, and he reached into a drawer, and he gave me 2 things, and I already taken like a bottle or 2.
Yeah, but these things don't have pharmacologic effects. They don't give you an extra physiologic state of being.
They don't.
The question is, might they improve your health over the long term, or help your some physiologic process, enhance a physiologic process rather than put your body into a different state.
Yeah, but isn't it a fuzzy gray area between whether a substance is physiologically
Yes.
enhancing?
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes, can be.
And listen, Duncan, forget about all this working out and all this BS. You play an instrument, you got a hit, you're touring. That's enough. Believe me. If Crosby, Stills, and Nash can get laid, you'll get plenty of trim. Just enough of that.
Right,
As a matter of fact,
I want to hear when Leonard Skinner came out.
I would, if I were you, just to taunt women, I would put on about 80 pounds, start chain smoking,
You should see and they will call you John Popper.
They'll still go after you.
Right.
Yeah.
You should. Did you see him at the music awards?
No, I didn't.
Women were throwing themselves.
That's what I'm saying. You got the band. Forget about as long as you have a guitar, forget about the treadmill. That's what I'm saying. The drugs and the touring are going to kill you before you're 40 anyway, so don't worry about this longevity. All right. Now, we're in the back of a limousine. We're in New York. I'm 3 sheets to the wind. We're listening to some classic rock. Leonard Skinner's Free Bird comes on. I go insane. Susan keeps reaching up and turning the stereo down. In a limousine in the back, they have that stereo that's sort of up above your head. And I keep cranking it up, and she keeps turning it down, and she keeps saying, "The poor driver." She's being very considerate. This guy's job is to clean up coke and vomit at the end of the night. What are you talking about, the driver? This is why you get a limousine, so you can turn up the stereo.
She had that job for a while.
Oh, she drove a limousine? That's what it was. I knew it.
Yes.
Should have tossed her right out of that limousine. So she was feeling sympathy for the driver because she was empathizing with him because she had that experience before.
Been there.
I wish you'd brought that up. I really could have seized that at the time. Because I kept saying, who gives a rat's ass about the driver? I'm trying to party in here.
Leonard Skinner. That's all you could yell. Free bird.
Well, you know how
not very reasonable at the moment.
All right, but you know when you're turning up the stereo and someone keeps turning it down and you keep turning it up and they keep turning it down? Anyway, Drew had never heard of Free Bird, which is probably Leonard Skinner's biggest song. And maybe one of the biggest songs of the 70s. And Drew is, like I said, he's the right age. He should know about the Free Bird. Right. And so I started in on Drew. What the hell's wrong with you? Why don't you understand Leonard Skinner?
The usual conversations that and I have when we're out of the studio that make everybody around us just shrink.
Or I start yelling at Drew. It's like when you see a mom beating on her kid at the mall, and it's really weird, and you don't know whether to intervene or not, or just walk the other way. But, Drew and I love each other so much we can yell at each other. At least I can yell at him and he can take it. So I was yelling at him about not knowing Freebird, and Susan, who's between us, starts defending him. Freebird didn't come out until, I think she started with 79, 78. Drew was already immersed in his studies at that point, blah, 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 blah. So then I said, Freebird did not come out, and that was the early 70s, and there's no excuse. How old were you in 1973, by the way, Drew?
15.
15. Yeah. No excuse for not knowing the Free Bird at that age.
Right.
Susan came back with, it was 1979, and he was in college, and he was studying very hard. And I said, 1979, you're thinking about Blondie. This is Leonard Skinner. This is Free Bird. This is the whole band died in a plane crash, I think in 77, maybe 76, and then Rosington Collins came around after that.
Parsons Project or something.
No, Rosington Collins was a couple of guys that didn't make the flight or something. Right. I don't exactly know what the old Leonard Skinner thing is, but the point is I was yelling at her, and she lowered her thing to 1976, but said no lower than that, and I said it's lower than 76, and she yelled it's not, and I went and looked it up today, made a special trip to a music store, 1973. Off the Leonard Skinner album, pronounced Leonard Skinner is basically how it went. And Leonard Skinner...
You are the man.
All right, this is enough Leonard Skinner talk, but here's the thing that's cool about Leonard Skinner. And Drew doesn't know this, but everyone else knows this story. You thought Leonard Skinner was one guy's name.
Yeah.
It's the name of their gym coach who told them they wouldn't amount to anything. That's a good idea.
They named the band after him. That's great.
Yeah, that's good rebellious
Maybe
stuff.
we ought to just change your name to Mr.
Mr. Walters or
No,
Mr. Saponzi?
You had one more that you keep bringing up.
Oh, in high school?
The biology
Mr.
teacher.
Diliberti?
Mr. Diliberti. We'll just call you Mr. We'll call this whole show Mr.
That's the
Diliberti.
Mr. Diliberti show, the guy who failed me in biology in 10th grade. Kelly,
Hi.
you're 18.
I'm 18. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Well-
a little bit loquacious.
Well, don't feel bad,
Gregarious.
Drew. I don't even know who Leonard Skinner is.
Okay.
I don't know. Am I bad?
No, you're with me.
Okay,
You're one.
Right.
That sounds good. Well, I'm here with a bunch of friends. They said hi. They say
Hi.
hi. You guys make a good combination.
Where are you? Somebody's house or something?
Am I? Yeah, I'm at someone's house.
Okay.
Okay. Well, here's my question. I just got in a relationship with a really, really nice guy. I mean, I like him a lot. He's one of my best friends. But
Wait a minute. Let's define our terms here. What do you mean by nice?
nice. He's just an all-around good guy. You know, he's some good qualities about him.
Like what?
He's polite and he's funny and he was good-looking and he was good to people. You know.
And he said he's your friend.
Yeah, he was.
Was he your
he
friend
was
first?
Huh?
Was he your friend first?
Yeah, I guess.
How did it go from friend to more than friend?
Well.
There's booze involved, isn't there?
The first time we started talking, we talked for about 5 hours, and that's how we became friends.
Yeah.
And then we started doing stuff together, and eventually we just ended up as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Were you thinking of him as more than a friend to begin with?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So both of you were into the relationship to begin with?
Yeah.
All right. And so what happened?
Well, he was very, very, very affectionate. And I don't mean he touches me all the time. I just mean he said, you know, he loves me, like, all the time.
And they started with that right up at the beginning, too, huh?
No, it was more toward the middle and then the end.
Okay.
And that, I guess...
All right, hold on, Drew. What is going on with you tonight?
I'm going to try to make a point with her. I'm trying to get away from the Leonard Skinner talk, too. I'm trying to recover from that.
All right, but let's not douse that with your own drone.
Was that difficult for you to accept?
Him complimenting all the time?
Or the loving?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't difficult to accept. It was just the fact that he said it so often, it began to lose its meaning.
Okay.
Is how I felt.
All right. So what happened?
And so we broke up. So I broke up, and I also moved away too. And that's one of the reasons I broke up too.
And what's your question?
My question is, my friends were telling me, and I'm also, I'm kind of scared of guys like whatnot, you know.
In general.
They're you know, sexual organs or whatever you want to call it. I'm kind of scared of. Well, I'm not scared of it. I'm scared of the fact that they could put that in someone. You know what I mean?
Somebody
It
else?
just looks like it would hurt so bad.
So you never had intercourse with?
No, I've never had intercourse. But it just and I don't know. And my friends were telling me that they think I go for abusive guys, and I'm just wondering if this situation is giving me all these kind of signs that I like abusive guys.
No.
No,
No.
not at all.
Have you been with abusive guys?
No, he was my first boyfriend.
All right. All I get is that you don't like clingy guys,
Yeah.
and you have difficulty accepting love from somebody, and you're afraid of guys. You're afraid of something about guys. I don't know what.
Well, the penis, for one.
Yeah, but that's just a symbol of the whole thing.
I don't know. Could be.
Well, it's just the fact that
Do you have bad dreams about
like
snakes and things?
it should hurt. I don't
All
know.
right,
It's
Freud.
Like that big
Hold on,
thing
shut his mic off, Engineer Mike. I've had enough out of Drew. Please, you led that call down a dark road for about 4 minutes, and you ended up at a store that was closed. Yes. All right. Don't try to talk, Drew. The mic's closed off. Kelly?
Yeah?
You're scared of penises.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, I'd have to say I'm afraid. Well, I'm not. Yeah.
No.
I am. Yeah, I am. Okay.
This is very symbolic. I mean, this really says
get
something.
Together with the other guy who called.
Yeah. What about the guy with the small penis?
Maybe we should hook up. I don't know.
Have you ever been traumatized by the penis?
No.
You never saw your dad dancing naked when you were young?
Let me think. No.
No.
No, I haven't.
You were never struck by a penis?
No.
I mean,
no,
just think,
I wasn't.
But well, if you can have a baby, then you can, and that the penis is really not that excessive.
If I can have a baby?
Yeah. In other words, it's not that it's not that
Oh, so you mean
Yes.
that once I have a baby, it won't
No.
really matter anything?
No, what Duncan is
What I'm
saying,
saying is if
you have the
female-
equipment to accommodate a baby's head.
Right.
Oh.
Certainly, you could
Oh,
you could handle a penis.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I was just reading all these books and stuff, and I heard it hurts the first time, and it just doesn't.
No.
You know, I mean,
Kelly.
I don't know.
I mean,
Kelly,
both.
you got a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? You're reading books about losing your virginity. You're scared of the penis.
Yeah.
You can't imagine it being inside. Eating disorder?
No, I don't have any disorder.
All right. Even Drew, even with Drew's mic off, he can still manage to screw up the show with his suggestions.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Kelly.
Yes.
Here's what you're doing.
Okay.
You think too much. Most of our listeners don't think enough. We really have, you could really put our listeners into two categories. You have the ones that think way too much, like the guy with his penis, and it's only 5 inches, and what am I going to do, and how am I going to have sex? And then you have the other ones that have questions like, if I smoked weed out of an urn, and my grandpa's ashes were in there,
Yeah, right.
do you think that would affect his afterlife at all? He wouldn't get some sort of spiritual buzz going. Right? I mean,
you should meet my band members. I should have brought them tonight.
Do they have questions like that? Right. These are the two categories you could divide our two listeners into. Now, Kelly is the thinking too much category. All right. Can you turn Drew's mic on for just a second?
It's the over-anxious category.
Okay. Turn it off now. It's enough. All right. Thank you, Mike. Let's move on.
We gotta go to a song.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right, Drew, why don't you sell this call, and then we'll go to song, and then we'll come back.
Kelly, go with the flow.
Yeah, let's just be real clear with Kelly that we can't say much of anything from Kelly except that she's anxious and thinks a lot and has difficulty accepting love and has got something symbolically going on with men, but something that she may just get over with.
But it's great. It's great, and just enjoy it. And
But the thing about relationships, and I've found about life in general, is you can think yourself right into the ground. I mean, if you ever, ever really focused on how life works and all the potential dangers there are out there waiting for you, and all the venereal diseases and all the difficulties and all the possibilities and everything that could go wrong, everyone would just lock themselves in their apartment and never leave and see the light of day. You have to have, put your seatbelt on when you get in a car. And, if you're going to do heroin, have one of your buddies do it first or something so you can tell where it comes from. But, you know what I mean? But then after that, go ahead and enjoy yourself. Right, Drew? Right. Okay. Sell the next call, and then we'll go to the song.
Believes he has the happies.
Okay, that is the herpes, Duncan. We call it the happies here because it makes people feel more comfortable. All right, Duncan Sheik is our guest. Duncan Sheik has himself a CD out called Duncan Sheik, and the name of this one is She Runs Away. She Runs Away from Duncan Sheik, off of Duncan Sheik in a Big Country. And, so you don't have to worry about running on a treadmill in order to meet women.
No, that's not what I was talking about, really.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
This song has more to do with what we were just talking about not overanalyzing everything too much, because then you'll never, enjoy what life has to offer.
There's a real fine line between stupid and tortured.
Right.
And there are a lot, I believe some of the happiest people on the planet are stupid. As a matter of fact, I know they are.
Sure.
And if you take a look at any of the great minds of the past, they're always tortured, especially the artists.
Sure.
I mean, they're all effed up. They can't enjoy life for a second because they have to analyze everything. It's tortured. Maybe
they're driven to greatness because they are so disturbed to begin with. And they just continue to be tortured.
All right, see, I'm not smart enough to decipher that, Drew. See, if I were tortured, actually, I can't enjoy life the way do you guys ever wonder if you're actually enjoying yourself? Don't you wish you could crawl inside of somebody else's mind for just one day?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why not? Come on, Drew. You may be miserable and not know it. Or you may be the happiest guy in the world and not be appreciating it. You know what I'm saying?
It's your subjectivity. You can't. You're not going to get out. It wouldn't matter if you did get in somewhere.
Exactly.
It would be the same.
Because you're still going to be in that subjective state of the other person.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter.
No, but I'm talking about you. I would do it, except for I couldn't handle about all the saliva swallowing and stuff when it was someone else's spit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Not really, but...
Okay, but that's cool. We'll go to break.
Okay.
Drew?
Yeah.
You want to sell anything?
Happies.
Oh, yeah, the Happies call. All right, all that after this. Hey, it's the Loveline. Phone number 1-800-LFEE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. He's Dr. Drew. That is Duncan Sheik. And Drew?
Yeah.
Sign this thing,
I did.
right?
Look, yeah.
Oh, that's it? Oh, I signed it in the wrong place over there underneath authorized representative. Drew, are you looking?
Author. That's what we're going.
Oh, all right. All right. Drew and I are doing a little thing for Jump Magazine, and there's nothing like the paraphrase.
That other people do of us?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. Drew and I do this thing where there's this magazine called Jump Magazine, and it's basically like, I don't know, Teen Beat or Young Miss or something. There's tons of these magazines for women like 13 to 18.
You know, I'm going to be doing a similar thing on a web page. Glossy, it's called. Not you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, screw you.
I know you get all pissed off.
They'll never get any hits to that web.
But it's interesting how there's just tons of this kind of material out there, and the young people looking for information.
And for some reason, young women, there's this huge market about young women wanting to know about stuff to do with their skin and how short a skirt they can wear, and what if should you ask a guy out on a first date and all this. I never cared about any of this stuff growing up, and now that I'm older, I see all these men's magazines where they're talking about kickboxers workout and how to add 10 minutes to your sexual experience and all that. And I always look at that and I go, gay guys read this. This is for gay men to perform on other gay men. I'm convinced of this. It really is.
You're absolutely right.
There's no straight guy in the world who reads this crap about, getting ripped abs in 6 weeks and all. This is for gay men. Let's just call it Blue Boy and leave it at that. You know it's for gay men because on the cover, some cut-up guy on rollerblades with a nice sweat going and a bandana around his head. This is really gay porn, all these magazines. I could care less about this. I don't want to read a magazine to tell me, like, what I should be enjoying or how I should be living my life. But anyway,
you cut straight to the truth on that.
But if you pay us a few $100, we'll certainly be in your magazine. Is the message I'm trying to give out here. And anyway, we do this interview. We do this segment in Jump Magazine where they ask us these questions and we reply. Thankfully, it's over the phone. And I started one of my sentences with the word "gad."
Evidently. You did.
Evidently, when I was reading it, and there's nothing better than reading something that you allegedly said, but it says "gad." And I thought to myself, I guess that's short for gadzooks, or egad, or gads, or something like that. But I've never said gad. I've said nad quite a few times, but never the gad. Maybe it was a typo. Who is that?
Steve Gadd's a great drummer.
Oh, he is?
Amazing, incredible.
I thought you said Steve's dad's a great drummer.
No, Steve Gadd.
All right, so that's what happens when you do articles with people and they take liberties with your words. And you start sentences with "gad."
What follows is equally as bizarre to be attributed to you.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't connect with you at all.
Well, whatever it takes. I don't care.
Well, now they're going to use our words, apparently.
Oh, they are?
Oh, yes, our words.
I talked to them about the gad thing.
I did, too. In fact, I talked to her. We did our interview separately this time, and my opening volley with her was, by the way, and she said, "Oh, it wasn't me, somebody else. No, don't worry, it will be your words."
Oh, she must have got the gad. She must have had the gad conversation with me before she spoke to you.
She's mentioned that to me.
I just kept saying, "Ask Drew." I don't know. Troy.
Hey, what's up?
Gadzooks, you're on with Duncan Sheik.
Cool. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something. I met this girl like 3 months ago, and since then, me and her became really good friends, right? We're like two peas in a pod. And she's gorgeous. She's everything I ever wanted in a girlfriend.
All right, what happened?
And one night, we were friends forever, and then one night we like drank a little too much and started messing around. And I like ate her box that night. It was like nothing big. But, we were worried that we were
another Brown graduate here.
What?
Where'd you go to finishing school, Troy?
Finishing school?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and you didn't go.
So you had oral sex. Go ahead.
I had oral sex. And then we just, like, played it off like it was nothing because we were such good friends. And like 2 weeks later after that, we almost had sex, but it was just like we just rubbed nasties.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just found out like yesterday that she had herpes, and she was like the whole time is like.
How'd you find that out?
She told my sister.
She told your sister.
My sister.
With the thinking, the strategy that it would get to you.
Actually, it would. She was hoping that it wouldn't. It's just that her and my sister became really good friends too. They were like,
all right. So
they were posing for like, I don't know, some kind of picture stuff, and like just got talking one day.
All right.
What kind of pictures are they posing for?
My sister, she poses for Playboy.
Huh?
And this girl was like gorgeous. She was like trying to get into it with my sister or whatever, and that they got to be really good friends because they like sat all day together doing that kind of stuff.
Wait a minute, is your sister? Is she a playmate?
No, she just started. She's just getting like into it.
Oh, just sending in pictures?
Yeah, well, she's got like a photographer that's taking pictures, and she's getting everything dialed. They're sending it to Playboy, and hopefully they're gonna buy it.
Right, make her. Is that her in the background?
She's saying.
Yeah.
All right, put her on. I'd rather talk to her.
No, I don't think she wants to talk.
Put her on. Come on, Troy. Go get her.
Heather, do you want to talk?
I guess that would be a no.
She just hang up the phone or something?
Did she hang up on him? Troy?
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
All right, let's talk about the helm or something. Troy, put her on.
Heather?
Come on, Heather. Heather.
Heather?
Here she is.
All right. Heather.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
How old are you?
I'm 20?
You're on Loveline.
I know.
What's going on with the Playboy tryouts?
Oh, nothing.
Jeez, I came really close to making the squad last year, but got cut on a technicality at the end.
Yeah.
Men of radio?
Yeah,
Okay.
New dudes in radio.
Right, great.
Where I pose with just my cord coming out of me, and you use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me talk to you about this process.
Okay.
You get pictures taken by a professional photographer?
Uh-huh.
And now, listen, is he drinking a beer while he's taking pictures? Because that's not professional.
No.
No. And how revealing are these pictures?
Not bad. I wouldn't do it if it was as revealing as some of the magazines.
Uh-huh. So you give him just a shot, just a sampling.
Yeah.
Your parents know about this?
No.
And then they...
What do you think your dad would say?
Oh, they wouldn't want to know.
Right, they're in denial. That's fine. And then you send the pictures into Playboy.
Uh-huh.
And then they decide and call you back.
Yes. I guess my photographer was doing it for 6 years. He did 3 layouts.
Mm-hmm.
Or more. I don't know how many it was, but actually I'm not paying for any of it. He kind of offered, and so I talked to my husband about it, and it was okay.
You're 18, are you?
20.
20.
Oh, 20, and you're married already, huh?
Yes.
And what's your husband do?
Um,
Turn the radio down.
Turn the radio down, Miss Confusion.
There she
I don't want to say, because I don't really want people to know about it. No one knows about this.
Mm-hmm. But
Is
is
he professional,
you telling us what your husband does, is that going to somehow clue people in?
What?
What does your husband do?
Nothing.
All right. Now let's get back to Troy. What did you find out from Troy's girlfriend? And how did this come up?
She just told me that...
Do you tell him the whole story? Whatever she
Yeah,
told you?
well, I didn't want to tell him the whole story because I had a friend that had it before.
Uh-huh.
And I mentioned it to him, and he told all his friends.
I see.
So I didn't want him to know about that, even though I knew they were close. So, me and Troy are pretty close. So when we started talking about it, and I asked him, he told me, and so I was mad because she had told me not to say anything because she would never do anything with him because she had it.
The fact that she had been physically intimate with him is what led you to tell her. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
wouldn't have told him if I didn't.
Right. So you're worried that he was in harm's way.
Yes, exactly.
And that she was telling you she wouldn't do that to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he get anything?
Well, he hasn't come up with any sores or anything,
All right.
so I've heard, but
All right.
she said she got it from a toilet seat.
No. Nope.
How long does it take for them to?
It can be up to 2 weeks, and he could get it in his mouth too, just as easily as in his genital area. I don't know if he actually had intercourse with her or not, but typically the initial outbreak, wherever it occurs, is pretty intense with a lot of pain, a lot of burning, with swollen lymph glands, whatever area it happens to be nearby, whether it's neck and throat or inguinal if it's.
But Heather, if you have an outbreak, they can airbrush that right out.
And people can sometimes even get sick. They get like a flu syndrome. That's usually within 2 weeks of exposure.
Well, it's been longer than 2 weeks, but I've heard of cases where it's gone up to 6 months, right?
Well, more so what can happen is the initial outbreak can be just real mild. People miss it. And they don't really identify until they get secondary recurrences. But that's very unusual. Very unusual.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely that he doesn't have anything.
It's very unlikely. He's probably okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Good
coming on the
luck.
phone.
Okay, bye.
And we'll keep our eyes out for you.
Oh, don't.
All right, I'm guessing that Heather doesn't make the cut for the Playmate, like the monthly thing, but she probably gets into some sort of
Playboy
chicks who don't know what their husbands do for a living. There's got to be some sort of specific spread they get into.
Probably.
Yeah. I'd like to see Heather during that whole turn on, turn off. You ever, you don't read Playboy, but you know, the coolest part about that magazine is when they have the women list the turn-ons and the turn-offs. And turn-offs are always mean people and oftentimes smokers. And they can never, the turn-ons are always sort of ambiguous stuff. I mean, it has to be guys, it has to be attributes that guys can claim as their own. Right. For instance, they cannot say turn-ons. 9-inch penis, a Bentley, and he has to own a hotel or two. The turn-ons have to be good sense of humor, enjoys music, likes to walk on the beach. They always incorporate the beach into it. Now, every guy reading the magazine, every schmo is working on a loading dock says, I enjoy the beach. I'm real cut up over here at the office, and I love that good music.
Right.
So
we're made for each other.
Right, we're made for each other. Therefore, I'll re-up the subscription to the magazine. They never get into specifics. But then the reality is you see who the guy is dating. Big a-hole from the record industry who does nothing but coke, drives around in a Corvette, and has no sense of humor.
Yeah. Sad.
Are you with me, Drew?
I'm with you.
Okay. It's always disappointing. As a young lad, I always pictured Playmates as these like deities, these women that drove around in pink Cadillacs and lived in a big castle somewhere and had little like heart-shaped droppings when they went into the bathroom and the whole thing. If they broke wind, it smelled like Chanel, And then when you get older and you see them and they're chewing gum and they got a black eye because their pimp boyfriend backhanded them the other night and that kind of thing, it's always a little depressing. All right, enough of that. Drew?
Break.
You want to sell something?
This is a call. Just let's suffice it to say she's been on hold for 110 minutes.
Okay.
Whatever she has to say, we want to hear it.
She really needs to say it, whatever it is she has to say. Well, all right. Back with more Duncan Sheik and a desperate caller after this. Hey, want to play that, Duncan? Hey, did you put the headphones in, or put the stethoscope ear things in?
Oh, does it work?
Yeah, don't break it. You have to buy it. I always love that policy.
Have your own store,
As a matter of fact, I haven't heard that in many years. Like as a kid, I'd go into a store and you'd pick something up and look at it, you break it, you buy it.
Where do you connect the stethoscope?
There should be like
the front, I think there.
An outlet somewhere on top. Right. Duncan is figuring out the Traveler guitar. We have this really cool guitar that you can play, but instead of playing through an amplifier, and you can also play this one through an amplifier.
Oh, it works.
You also just put on a doctor's stethoscope ears and plug this tube into this opening. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Oh, you know how to play the guitar. Hey, you want to play some? We could plug it into a mic, into an amp later or something.
No, I mean,
You all right?
No.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're tired of playing. All right, Duncan Sheik is here. His CD is called Duncan Sheik. This is Loveline, and it's back to the phones we go. What the hell name is that? Manette.
Manette? Oh, she's sleeping.
Yeah.
Manette?
Time to wake up.
There she is. You're breathing.
Manette has been on hold for 117 minutes and 15 seconds, and Manette is probably a narcolepsy-related call, but she's passed out. It's always funny when they're snoring, by the way, Duncan, and you can check back with them, and they're just sawing logs back there.
It's great.
It's very flattering that people stay on hold that long. All right.
I'll
give her...
breathe one more time.
Can you do that, Mike?
Great radio.
Well, don't blame Mike. Blame yourself. I didn't hear any breathing.
No, the first time I did.
All right. Well, maybe we'll come back to Manette with some my famous subliminal suggestions about killing everyone in the family. Andrew.
Yeah.
You're 15.
Yeah, reasonably so.
Uh-oh. I smell trouble. I can tell you right now you've never been laid.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Go ahead.
I have heard of free as a bird, or free bird.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Hey.
It's something.
That's the lyric.
The entire band was dead before Andrew was born, and he still knows Freebird.
Yeah.
What's going on, Stoner?
Maybe before his parents were born.
Yeah, I was wondering, is there a physical cause for horniness, for sex drive, or is that all mental, or what?
Biological.
Yeah, I mean, this is how the species sustains itself. What is it you're asking exactly?
Well, I mean...
Are you really horny?
What?
I mean, excessive amounts?
No. I mean, like...
Somebody you know.
I'm trying to see how do I phrase this. What's the... Not the biological reason, but I mean, the physical reason is that...
Your body begins producing testosterone around puberty. And you're born with a certain kind of brain that responds to testosterone. You're born with a male brain and a male body that also responds to testosterone.
Because I remember reading somewhere that horniness is like produced by the nerves wanting to be stimulated or something like that.
Maybe you better figure out what the question is you have, Andrew. Hard to answer enough.
Andrew, do they offer a health class there at the school?
Yeah, I took that.
Oh, you did?
Fun.
Really? If I was your teacher, I would kill myself right now.
No, I didn't quite go into this quite so much.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, if I were your folks, I'd kill myself. I can't believe this. Andrew.
Yes?
Are you one of those real weird guys? You into Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of stuff?
No, not really.
You read comic books?
No.
What are you into? What kind of music are you into?
You ever heard of you heard of They Might Be Giants?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, so Andrew, you're doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Big on thinking.
For that 15-year-old brain of yours, you're doing a lot of thinking.
It hurts, man.
Yeah, I know. And it's hard. It's hard to be with women because they think you're kind of weird and stuff.
Well.
Yeah. You never.
Everybody thinks that. But...
Right. All right. Listen.
Yeah.
Let me give a quick message to all the people who other people think are weird. You know why they think you're weird? Because you're acting weird. Nobody thinks you're weird when you don't act weird. I don't know what it is with people who, they walk around in like some sort of drug-induced haze. Their fingernails are black or dark blue as light as they're going to get. They get into funky music. They're walking around really like an extra from Clockwork Orange or something. And then they hate society because society's not embraced them. Society is scared to death of these people. They don't, and they're pissed off because they can't get hired and they can't get laid, and their gym coach is riding on them. You are bringing it on yourself. Listen, straighten up and fly right. Society's fine. Here's the thing about society. Society doesn't care. Society can see 1,000 people walk by and never raise their eye once, but once they see Andrew go by, they go, hey, look at this nutcase. What's going on with this guy? Let's go beat him up, or let's go not have sex with him, or let's fire him. That's what society does. Stop being weird, Andrew. I think it's just a form of something else that's manifested. It manifested this way in your persona, but Geez, I sounded like
like G. Gordon Liddy right now.
Yeah, I'm going to burn myself with a cigarette.
Give the dissenting opinion.
What? Yeah, no, I mean, I think we should embrace individuality, but that's just...
But what Adam is saying, that when people act out in an antisocial way, don't expect people to respond in other than a defensive way.
Yeah, but dressing funny and listening to funny music is not antisocial. Anyway, this is... I mean, we could get into a whole conversation about this.
But acting weird, I think that's what you're... Which is hard to define,
listen,
of course, but...
Listen, express yourself any way you'd like to express yourself. If you'd like to... If you're a guy and you want to wear a dress and that's what turns you on... wear the dress.
But don't expect people to embrace that.
Understand that people are going to look at you funny, and that's the way society is made up. And if you want to go ahead and be a trailblazer, that's fine. But all the greats, listen, Christ got nailed to a cross for his ideas. Right. Expect it and live with it. All right. I heard that Nanette was awake.
Manette, yeah.
I mean, Manette. Manette?
Yes.
You're 24.
Yes, and I wasn't sleeping before. I swear I wasn't. I don't think I was.
Well, you were breathing kind of hard into the phone.
Was I?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking to you.
I was on hold for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, my question, actually, it's more of a situation. For as long as I can remember, I have horrible, horrible, horrible menstrual periods. A lot of pain, and I get fevers and kind of sick and just really bad, and they've never been able to say for sure that it is endometriosis. But in the last couple of years, they've thought definitely that it was.
Did you have a
my insurance
laparoscopy?
won't pay for it anymore.
You had a laparoscopy, though?
Yes, I've had 2 of them, and I've had 2 DNCs.
You ever suffered any sexual abuse?
No,
None at all?
No, not at all.
Not even a little goozing from Grandpa?
No, not at all.
All right.
No.
Just checking.
And why is it they had difficulty determining whether or not you had it if they went in and looked?
I have no idea
I mean,
why.
you either have it or you don't. It's either there or it isn't.
I don't know. They've never, ever said for sure either way. Even after I was done with the laparoscopy, they said, well, it still might be that, but maybe it's just not totally developed or whatever. I don't understand
So
what
they didn't
they're
see it.
talking about.
They didn't see it.
Pardon?
They didn't see it.
Okay.
Are you a hypochondriac at all?
Pardon?
Are you a hypochondriac?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. In the last, 2 or 3 months, I've been throwing up a lot before my period. For a couple of days before it, I get really sick, and I get a fever and throw up and whatever else, and it's just really, really painful, and intercourse is too painful. I don't even do that anymore.
Well, I've cut that out of my diet, too.
Yeah, well,
What's the question?
Hold on a second. Drew?
Yeah.
We got to break a little bit early
Right.
for technical reasons.
Right.
Here's what you should do.
Talk to her off the air.
Go talk to her off the air.
Right.
We do that?
Yep.
All right. Drew will do that. I'll do nothing off the air, and we'll be back. All right, it is Loveline. We are desperately trying to get out of here and try to squeeze in one more Duncan Sheik song. This one is it's a little bit of a sneak preview because it's going to be on a soundtrack.
It's the first ever radio airing of this song.
And it could be the last. We don't know.
This is very true.
This is the soundtrack from what movie?
Great Expectations.
Which is
the Dickens novel they've made a movie of it, a kind of a modernization. Of
and it's got I'm rushing you along because we got about 20 seconds, but it's going to be a big movie, and it's got Gwyneth Paltrow in it, and
Ethan Hawke, and
maybe Robert De Niro. We're not sure. And the soundtrack's got Poe and some other guys, other than Duncan Sheik, on it. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew, and listen to a little Duncan Sheik before you turn your radios off.